I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts to...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
You hate to do it, but at the same time, it's hilarious. Hello, and good evening, everybody that happens to tune into our lovely show. It is I, Fractured Filter, yet again here for Saturday Night Sith, number 26. I'm doing fantastic, and always with me, Jay Hitman. How are you tonight, sir?
Oh, living the dream, so excited. Number 26.
Yes, sir.
Number 26. It keeps growing. It's exciting. Exciting. Man, a lot to talk about tonight. I didn't feel like a lot had been coming down, but I feel like there is a lot to talk about. A lot of stupidity in the air.
Well, you know, as we like to say, certainly Disney Lucasfilm is the gift that keeps on giving.
Keeps on giving.
There's constantly new news. There's new something. It just then becomes the question of where do you begin?
I just want to say this is a monumental episode. Not only is it number 26, comes exactly after 25 and before 27, but we have survived Kenobi. I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think we were going to do it. I thought it was going to be the death of me, and I was going to blame you for it because, well, no, not really, but yeah, I'm excited because we're done with that trash heap, but then I forgot when we were talking about, when we were talking Friday or Thursday, that we have to come back to Mando. So, mixed emotions. I'm excited, and then I remembered what episode that we're on, and I was like, don't make me do it. So,
yeah.
I'm actually excited, but like, where are you at with all of it? Are you?
I mean, I was certainly feeling a little bit better watching certainly the episode that we needed to get back to.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can see the stark contrast between Mando and freaking Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And this
is
it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, and this is the thing. As we all know, they push the true lore aside, and there's this area now for them is the wild territory. They're filling in their gaps, right? So they're going. It's in between. It's after Return of the Jedi, but before their bullshit. Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So it's just called, okay, you know what? You guys get to do whatever the hell you want. You're not going in between time of Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, where you have the potential of really screwing up a lot of continuity, which they freaking did.
Yeah.
But this at least was, this is at least a period of time where it's theirs to do what they want with, as shitty as it is. And we all know the roads lead to Jake Skywalker and Rise of Palpatine and all that crud. So we know now we're just kind of seeing how they're getting themselves into that into that trap, right? So now it's just kind of like, okay, so how are they going to get us there? And not. But but then I guess there's also then the big question of later. But just between Mando and Obi-Wan, this is at least like, it was certainly like, I'd hate to say a palate cleanser for Star Wars, but
yeah,
it's because at least like it is. It's like in Obi-Wan, they were retarded as shit. Never once, like, for example, used TIE fighters to pursue anyone at any time. Didn't use the Star Destroyers effectively, and at least, you know, we had a moment in this episode where it's like, oh, they actually used the TIE fighters to pursue them.
Yeah.
Granted, ineffectively, but
Very well, yeah, and
but at least, you know, it's, oh, okay, you kind of know what you have at your disposal. So you certainly see the differences of directing between and show running between Deborah Chow and Jon Favreau.
well, that's what I was gonna lead into my next question. And like, you know me, I don't give any credit to Disney. They're all just incompetent in my opinion. But now that we've gone through Kenobi, we've seen, you know, what Deborah Chow can do, and we've been watching Mando, and we've now seen what Favreau can do. You know, I tweeted this the other day. I was like, you know, Disney creativity is the antithesis of what true creativity is. But looking at both of these, is it fair to say that Favreau might be a little bit better in regards to maybe putting crap together than Chow? Because, to your point, like, I felt it was a huge palate cleanser. Like, I still have my issues with this episode, don't get me wrong, but
so
like,
do
I wasn't physically sitting down ready to off myself last night watching this.
It was less infuriating to watch.
Right.
Like, it's not like I'm trying. It's not like I'm trying to find issues. It's just what pops out to me.
It just is what it is. Though,
yeah, and you know, it's. I was talking to somebody at work today. I'll throw it into the private chat.
All right, I think I'm curious to see who.
And I was just kind of telling him, you know, some of the stuff that we've talked about, and even he was kind of like, yeah, he was kind of getting it, you know.
Yeah.
So even though
for the record, this person that you're talking about, his favorite Star Wars.
I know. I talked to him about that. And you know, like he said, for him, Force Awakens was basically his first experience with Star Wars, which is unfortunate. But I do understand where, and this is probably blasphemy for me to say, but I understand where he was coming from a little bit. I can see how some people can be a little.
Don't say.
Not everyone is as embracing.
Cultured as we are.
It's because, you know, not everyone's as into like seeing older technology in action and practical effects and stuff like that. These kids are certainly ingrained with the CG brain. So, I mean, I was certainly still making my case and telling them, dude, you really need to like look at it in a new lens and just kind of, I mean, but and funny because he really likes the prequels.
Yeah.
But just for the OT was just kind of, at least a new, difficult for him. So.
Well.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. Is like So what I was going to is that, you know, while they try and go, yeah, it's good, but then once you start pointing out the flaws, and you're actually just kind of talking to them, going, hey, you know, look at it. You know, I pointed out two of the things because he asked me if I saw things the same way you did, Hitman, about Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much on board with him. And I started, you know, I went into the very basic parts of, you know, just look at the dialogue of in A New Hope, Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's, you know, for his name and of him recognizing the Obi-Wan name for when he said he hasn't gone by that name since before you were born to Luke.
Right.
And he kind of had to take a moment and go, oh yeah. And then, like I said, and then I pointed out the message that Leia sent via R2 to Obi-Wan. I'm like, now that makes no sense because where's that yeah, you saved me 9 years ago and stuff like that, you know.
Well, yeah, it's so, and like these kids, hey, eat it up. They're being spoon-fed this stuff, and they're like, oh, "That's the greatest thing ever." That fight scene, oh my goodness, it
yeah,
gave
we
me
didn't get into
chills.
that. We didn't get
No,
into
but I'm just
that.
saying, like, these are the things that, oh, that fight scene was amazing. I'm like, you realize that fight scene, if they stayed true to, like, not only the characters, but, like, it isn't even about continuity, but, you know, that's physically impossible for Anakin to do, for Vader to fight like that. Like, yes, he kept his form, but he could not physically move like that because of the joint, like the joints, and he didn't have the cutouts then, and it's just he's swinging the lightsaber. Like I was reading something that was, I think OG Star Wars was going to war with this guy. I don't know where I saw it. I can try to pull it up, but like they're like, it's the best fight ever and all this and that. And I'm like, he physically cannot do this. It is physically not possible. But you're eating this up, like, and that's what's just.
Well, and you know, it was another coworker of ours. He watched the finale.
I already know who it is.
He watched the finale and he's like, yeah, they went totally Dragon Ball Z with that last fight. I'm like, yeah. I mean, they completely OP'd Obi-Wan because I mean, when you look at then the fights from even Attack of the Clones, and you see how, you know, how not Obi-Wan, but Yoda was, I hate to say struggling, but certainly taking his moment more to catch the debris and all that stuff when Dooku was throwing everything he had at him. And then you look at this, Obi-Wan lifting up all these boulders.
Thank you.
Yeah, all these boulders and just freaking chucking them.
And he's taking it like a champ. Like it's
and Vader's just full on tanking him like crazy.
It's like a pillow fight, and it's like keep him coming, man. Like, it's just.
I mean, like I said last week too. You know, it's really too. That's been the one little detriment of like the Star Wars the Old Republic trailers. As cool as they are, that's where some of that, you know, over the top force stuff really could be stemmed from. And Force Unleashed, where it was showing, where at least it was interpreting of Starkiller pulling down the Star Destroyer with the Force.
I can live with that. I can live with Starkiller doing that. I cannot live with Vader. It was just so poorly done, and I don't know. I mean, I remember playing the Force Unleashed, and
then like it's then contradictory to Vader's own display of the Force, and his powers and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, where are you guys?
It's like it was like Chow was like she saw the Knights of the Old Republic like it was like Knights of the Old Republic trailer with what was it was Bastila's grandma. I don't know. It was like Shatil or whatever. She was fighting Malgus, right?
Yeah, that was the Star Wars The Old Republic trailer.
The Old Republic. It's like she was trying to honor that, and then like throw some Dragon Ball Z in there, and then like I don't even know. But like but the question I wanted to bring up is like, do you think? And again, this is not me saying Favreau is any. You know, they're all just bad in my opinion. But if Favreau was in charge of Kenobi, do you think we would have gotten the same, if not worse or better, production than what we got? Because he's already proven he doesn't know continuity, just like Dave doesn't know continuity. And I find it absolutely interesting that the Eckstein girl, the girl who plays Ahsoka Tano, was Ashley Eckstein. She was like, man, I was a Star Wars fan before, but what really made me a Star Wars fan was, you know, before we shot every episode of the Clone Wars, Filoni would come in and give us a 30-minute background speech or lesson on Star Wars, and then I really became Star Wars. So, like, to be a fly on the wall to see what kind of rhetoric
he gave,
just like to see what knowledge he was imputing on everybody else.
On them,
or their lack of. But like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it would have been better or worse? Because they've shown they have no regard for continuity. They have no regard for lore. So would it have been the same? Would the I think the argument I would make is maybe the visual effects could have been, I guess, better, but I don't know. What are your thoughts?
A lot could have been better.
Yeah, but if Favreau was in charge.
The sets were kind of repurposed and cheap looking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have made a difference because apparently this seemed like it was also a Kathleen Kennedy production practically. But she seemed to be the one that came in and, you know, dumped the script and they redid
She's
it.
like a...
That was supposedly too dreary and everything.
What's the thing called? Is it like a marionette strings, or the person that's pulling the strings? Puppet, yeah,
Puppet
the puppeteer. Like she's like, she has quit and then come back more than I changed.
She hasn't gone anywhere. That's just all.
No, but it's like I'm
gone anywhere.
It's like I'm done. I'm done. Come back. I'm not going to be in charge. Then I'm still in charge. I'm going to take it back. I'm going to be taking it.
She's always still been in charge. She hasn't
it's like
quit or left
she's literally.
It's just been about who gets put in charge of what project.
She will literally be there until she dies. She is not giving up power. Like the only way that she's going to be the Bill Snyder of Kansas State football. Like the only way that he leaves is when he dies, respectfully. That's the only way to him, not to her. Like she won't go away. She's like a gnat. She's like she won't go away.
That or just whoever she's training up to be. I know there's been mentioning
the two Stooges.
I don't know. No, not Filoni or Favreau, because Favreau's basically. He's just basically a hired person.
Marvel, whatever.
Yeah, that too, probably. But no, I forget. Kennedy basically has somebody that'll probably be in line.
It's her twin sister. Or clone sister.
So one way or another, she won't really be leaving anytime soon.
Oh God. She'll the day that she leaves is the day that Chepik leaves, and he's not going anywhere because the board apparently.
They signed him on for longer.
I just find it funny that Favreau in that interview, I think I mentioned last show, that he was like he was trying to be as respectful as he could, all the while giving his mind about Deborah Chow and how like it was rushed and all this. And I'm like, why don't you just come out and say it's dog water, guy? Like, why are you like, yeah, you work in the same building, but there's people I work with that I'm completely honest with. If I had, like, you know what I mean? Like, I will tell them like, you're dog water. Maybe not dog. Maybe I won't tell him the dog water. But you know what I mean? Like, he's trying to walk on eggshells. Yeah, I will. Yeah, because I have to. But if I was him, I don't want to be him. But if I was in that capacity,
criticism type.
No, if I was in that capacity, be like homie, like this is bad. This is dog water, and you should probably never direct again in your life. You should probably just go work at a. I don't know.
And supposedly done some good stuff here and there. I haven't seen it.
Deborah Chow has?
Supposedly.
She can't even read a book. She can't even read. She said she read the book. She said she drew inspiration from the book. Is it a coloring book? I think when OG did that, when OG read that when she did her coffee chat with, and she was talking about the Matthew Stover interview, and I think it was stated that like Deborah Chow read the book for inspiration. She probably read a Marvel coloring book, and that's probably what she read. Yeah, she read pictures because if she had read,
because wasn't it also the author that came out and said, "Oh yeah, the Mike Kenobi book totally falls in line with the Kenobi show," and when I saw people were like all like saying disagree, I'm like, no, you're just I kind of wish I had jumped in there. I'm like, no, you're just flat out wrong, dude. Because there's no way that Kenobi from the book, which was still essentially Obi-Wan Kenobi that we knew, in any way translated to the one in this show.
Who's the author you're telling? Yeah.
The one in this show was a complete washed up loser who had turned his back on the Force apparently, and was failing at his task quickly looking over Luke to then go and save Leia. So yeah, I was just like, no, there's no way these two are the same.
this brought up. I'm trying to find it. Brought interesting topic. Okay, so I was having this discussion with somebody. Has Matthew Stover become the new Timothy Zahn, bending the knee to Disney?
I'd say that's pretty. Yeah, I mean,
Which
it's certainly the way of avoiding the mass dog pile that would happen if he said anything
mind
against.
you, yeah,
It's kind of
mind
it's just
you.
basically trying to protect your own ass.
Well, mind you, this Timothy Zahn, in my opinion, wrote some of the greatest, like the one of the greatest trilogies out there. And we were having, I think we had this discussion at work, saying that Timothy Zahn sold out, and that he felt he was agreeing with all the stuff that Disney was doing after they acquired it from Lucas. But I just found it interesting because I remember her quoting that, like, he said, "Oh yeah, my book falls in line with the show." I'm like, "Are you high? Are you drunk? Like, what book are you talking about? Like, what?"
Well, that's the thing. Like, everyone, when this whole buyout happened with Disney, everyone was hoping for Thrawn trilogy. That's what people were expecting was going to be on the pathway, because how else better to continue
another
story.
Trilogy following the first three.
No, not even following the first three, but that instead of doing what they did, they instead did the Thrawn trilogy adaptation to movie. So we didn't have what we got, but had the Thrawn trilogy as the movies.
Yeah. Well, I just found it was interesting that he would have and I just have the audacity to make that claim. Like, you're the guy that wrote the book, guy, and you're saying that this show falls in line with it? Like, what show are you watching and what book are you talking about? Unless he wrote some other book other than Kenobi, unless there's a Yark and another, So yeah, I wanted to talk about that because I think it's just like, I think Sentinel, welcome Sentinel, glad to have you.
I was just gonna say welcome.
Yeah.
The Sentinel coming in hot, certainly lighting up the chat for sure.
Yeah, love to see it.
Jake Kenobi has highlighted in a much more favorable light compared to Jake Skywalker. Yeah. Matthew Stover is a sellout. So is Lucino. Lucino too, huh?
Well, because Lucino did Tarkin. Because I remember I had called you a couple months ago asking about I saw that Tarkin book and it didn't have the Legends label on it.
Anyone who wrote books under Lucas era who now are writing for Disney are sellouts. Yeah.
I mean,
agree with that.
Yeah.
And Karen Travis saw the Disneyfication of Lucasfilm with Filoni and said, "Fuck this shit," and left. She didn't sell out. Massive respect for her. Well, yeah, I mean, and the whole destruction of the Mandalorian race and culture and everything that they did to that.
And it's such a travesty, man, because like those books are so good. Like, I think there's 5 of them. For Karen Travis, I think Republic Commando, Hard Contact, and
she did
Order 66. There's 2 more I'm missing, but got great books. I'm currently reading Republic Commando right now.
Nice.
Well, I'm reading like 3 different Star Wars books right now, but that's definitely one of them I'm reading. But yeah, like, good on her good on her, and it's sad too. Good on her for having the I don't know, the guts to walk away, because I'm sure they probably, I don't know if they offered her money, but she walked away because she didn't want anything to do with it. But it's also sad because she created it. She created the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And to see what they've done with it.
It was like her and someone else. They both worked on the Mandalorian language and stuff like that, and got that all kind of. That's how it then was appearing in Attack of the Clones.
Well, and this whole sellout topic is interesting too. And this, I've gotten heat for saying that Ian and Hayden had were sellouts, and but for you to come back, I get that you want to come back and do a show, but for you to come back and do a show and be 2 of the guys that worked with Lucas and let this happen, like that to me, like, you've sold out for the paycheck. Like, you could have come back and you could have not done it. Hayden doesn't have as much pull as Ian because with the suit. And I mean, my goodness, they had 2 suit actors, right? But Ian definitely, being an executive producer, he could have, Hayden could have been like, yeah, you know what, this goes against the character, and I'm just, I'm not, I don't agree with it. I think we should change it. And if you're not going to change it, then you know what I mean?
Yeah, and there was even like a news article that Hayden and some other people didn't even talk to George Lucas before signing on to that.
But ironically, everybody's just been, falling in line and like, oh yeah, Deborah Childs is brilliant. I think what she's done with this is amazing, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, just kind of shame on you, guy. Like, where they took this show is contrary to the character. Like, it's not a true reflection of the character. And you let it happen. You could have walked. But they have the money, and they, so I go on for hours about it. That I think they're both sellouts, and it hurts because I had, like, we grew up with the OT and the prequels, and there is that love for for them. But like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Do you think I'm wrong? Is there anything? I mean, are they not sellouts? Like, what is your opinion on it?
Well, I believe that was kind of my point too when we talked about. When we mentioned like Mark Hamill and when he was so vocal about the way his character was treated and stuff like that, and like I kept saying, yeah, it's great that you're vocal, but at the same time, you had the choice to stay there, collect that paycheck, and keep doing that. You could have walked right away and made an even bigger impression than just squawking like a he was all bark and no bite.
Hamill could have
really bite. If he really wanted to bite them in the ass, he would have walked.
Oh, for sure. He could have walked from Disney, Lucas, and he could have gone back to DC and done the voice of Joker. Like he did too. Well, yeah, like there's so many things that he could have done. Yeah. Like if you
because I would say even at this point, well, there was a point that Joker outshined probably Luke Skywalker for what he was best known for.
Yeah,
that might be blasphemous to say, but it's probably true. I think that's pretty true that he started to become more known as the voice of the Joker.
Oh, for sure.
Then it was like, oh yeah, that's Luke Skywalker.
I mean, when you we're Star Wars, gotta keep the stars. But when you rate, like when you think of Joker. Okay. You typically people talk about like the actors, right? Like the actual physical actors. Yeah, no, like he's included in it. The only Joker that is not included in the lineup of Jokers is freaking Joaquin Phoenix and Jared Leto. Jared Leto gotta go. Like those are the only two. Like everybody else, like Cesar Romero, Jack. You said Jack
people
Nicholson.
Do include Joaquin Phoenix.
No, who? No, they don't. No, they don't.
That's basically just a movie that was slapped with the Joker in it.
CNN fake news. No, they don't.
No, I agree.
They shouldn't. They shouldn't.
But he's technically now included. And
by whom?
Jared Leto's freaking Joker.
By Disney fans, because he's not. No, that story has nothing to do with canon.
Probably the same sorts.
The same shills that are pumping out all the So I don't know. I just sellouts in my book, and it's sad, and people can chastise me and say, how dare you, Jay Hitler, and you're just biased, and you're just a cynical a-hole, and like, but you know what, like, prove me wrong that he's not a sellout. I'll listen to you. If you have evidence to the contrary, I'll eat crow, but to let this show happen, let me retract my statement, not to let this show happen, but to go along with this show, knowing that this goes against everything that the character had, and they talk about character-driven stories. Like that's Deborah Child's her favorite. It's like she has this. Her love for the word character-driven probably equals Filoni's love for furries and Ahsoka Tano. Like it's like what? I'm getting mad. I gotta get back. Where's my spray bottle? Yeah, it's just ridiculous, and they're sellouts. And if anybody has evidence to the contrary, I will sit down, I'll listen to it, and I'll eat crow, and I will admit on the show that I was wrong. Episode 27, 20, 29, whatever. I will admit. But I don't think I am.
Yeah, neither. I don't think I'm wrong either.
So, well, should we
Well,
get into
since
some
we're
articles?
talking on,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, since we're talking on the missteps, certainly of Kenobi, I do have the article here. Why Obi-Wan Kenobi's director didn't want to use Darth Vader's theme. And I mean, basically, it ties into not using any track of Star Wars.
And that's the biggest question, right? Like, why didn't they use no music from? Wasn't John Williams credited for in the show? Was he not?
Yeah, he created the Obi-Wan theme, but it was whoever was in charge of the music for this show. She was the one that did everything else.
Yeah.
But you know, this is the funny thing. So you could have still used Star Wars music and kind of did it in your own style. Because
Right.
I think of the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
And that game still essentially it had the Star Wars music, it was just remixed to have a new sort of sound. But it worked so well, especially with the placement, the way it was put into put onto places like Dantooine, and doing the Jedi training, and then on other planets. They really did a great job of and when you listen to those tracks from Coder, I wish I didn't think we'd be going into it quite like this, so I should have listened to that soundtrack and kind of taken some notes. But you can hear like the Jedi theme and stuff and other parts of the original trilogy soundtrack in those tracks for Coder, but it just has its own I hate to say sound so much, but it does have its own kind of feel, its own tone and everything. And so I just wanted to get credit to Jeremy Soule, who did the music for that game.
Yeah.
That's just it. You could have still used the music from Star Wars, but remixed it a little bit. You could put your own spin on it, but just make sure you've got that. Again, it's something I hate to use, but making sure that it still kind of sounds Star Warsy,
Right.
It has that Star Wars feel to it, that you recognize the tracks and that you go, oh, I am watching something that's Star Wars, and not just throw it in the last 5 minutes of your finale episode, and even before that for like a couple of minutes when they were doing the whole chase scene. So yeah, let's get article by Jennifer McDonough. Lucasfilm's newest Star Wars streaming series for Disney Plus recently finished its 6th episode run, which even that felt too long. Obi-Wan Kenobi saw the return of fan favorite actor Ewan McGregor to the role that put him on the map. In the show, legendary Jedi Master, who's a beta bitch, is pulled away from his vigil on Tatooine, where he watches over young Skywalker. It's during this adventure that he rescues a 10-year-old Princess Leia, who's basically max level, rediscovers his connection to the Force, and perhaps most notably has a pitched rematch with his greatest enemy, Darth Vader. Is there any piece of Star Wars music more iconic than the Imperial March? Well, I mean, for me, Shizor's, what was it, Shizor's Palace?
Oh yeah, one of the probably one of the best on the album. I think I was telling you that.
Yeah. Granted, composer extraordinaire John Williams has created dozens of extremely memorable songs for the Star Wars franchise, but the theme for the fearsome Darth Vader is undeniably a standout. However, while watching Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's not difficult to notice that the series has a serious lack of famous Star Wars musical tracks and cues. And now, it seems, an explanation for this omission has been provided. Composer Natalie Holt explains the lack of Imperial March. In an interview with Screen Rant, of all freaking places, Obi-Wan Kenobi series composer Natalie Holt revealed that it was actually director Deborah Chow decision not to rely on the classic John Williams composed Star Wars themes until Vader's last scene of the series on Mustafar. Again, look at something like Republic Commando.
Yeah.
All brand new music, basically, as far as I can tell, and it's tied to the theme of that game, having like the Mandoa chants and stuff like that for the songs. And so, I mean, I just don't know where the problems are nowadays. It's like, is it just the lack of imagination, creativity to bring some of this stuff to life? I mean, I really wonder.
I honestly think that it's just I've said it before. It's kind of like, the old everybody loved WWF, Attitude Era. Like, everybody loved that, and they were able to they created that, and they came up with something that nobody has even to this day been able to replicate, right? But it's like, well, we suck at creativity and we can't create anything good, so we have to rely on this. I don't know, maybe it's nostalgia, I don't know, but I think it is a lack of creativity.
Yeah, I mean, it's lack of creativity, even for some people having world experience and stuff like that, and that's why I'm not a creative.
Maybe they know that it's like, there's no way that we're going to be able to even touch this or even come close to the bar that George set. So we'll just steal. It's like, what Trash Panda does. What's his name? Oh, yes, Dave Filoni, the Trash Panda, steals from EU,
like a raccoon shifting through the garbage.
Yeah, like Trash Panda, and then tries to, steal from it and then, God, my blood pressure, the vein in my neck, if you could see it right now, is like pulsating. Just thinking about this stuff, but yeah, I think they suck. They suck at creativity. And this is Disney.
I think I need to go back to Bane.
Yeah,
this is getting me back in. God damn it.
But here, the point, the thing I want to touch on is, even if they got Williams to do the show is still dog water. Music's not gonna, in my opinion, gonna help. Would you disagree? You think it would? Maybe ease the pain?
Daviaso had posted in our Discord some scene, the final fight scene.
I saw that.
That used the
still bad
music, and
still
also
bad.
My buddy Das Morto, he had sent me some Reddit posts where it was it had added in the Force theme. When he caught Leia mid-air and stuff like that, and it helps, but it's just basically trying to polish a turd.
It's still a turd.
And you have to kind of exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. So unfortunately,
I watched those.
It wouldn't have saved this any. It would have helped. It might have added some extra, maybe a little bit of emotional weight to certain scenes. But at the end of the day, you would have snapped out of it and been like, "Oh, I'm still watching a dog water production from Lucasfilm Disney."
I watched one of these videos on YouTube. I know we'll get back to the article, but I watched one of the videos that was put together with the actual Battle of the Heroes and all this, and I watched it, and I just was like, "Man, I'm gonna go watch Revenge of the Sith." Just there's not anything that anybody can do to make it better, if that makes sense. I mean, you've made your bed and you have to sleep in it, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just one of those weird people. It's like, even if you could put the music in, it's just gonna make me watch. It's gonna make me want to stop watching this. This.
What's the old saying? Don't remind people of something better.
For sure.
Don't put a poster of a better movie in your shitty indie, not even indie, but like B movie film.
Yeah.
Don't remind people of a better movie that they could be watching instead of yours. That's clear. That you think it's genius, but to other people, it just looks at it and goes, "Man, I could be watching I could go back and watch Revenge of the Sith, or like what I did. I went and rewatched the original trilogy. I wanted to, get that perspective again. And thankfully, I have the despecialized version. So
yeah.
It's just not a lot you can do.
I'm gonna continue this. I need to step off real quick if you want to continue with it.
So when I started up on this project, we weren't sure that we were going to be allowed to use the John Williams themes. That just seems really bizarre to me, considering they are Lucasfilm in charge of all the licensing, I would think, and they own Fox, so I couldn't imagine that's any of the rights issues. Deborah Chow was saying to me, I think we need to score the show. I think we need to score the show as if we're not going to be able to use them. She was like, I don't want to find out that we can't. So let's make it work without. Let's do our own thing. And she was saying, actually, if we're going to use the Vader theme, I don't think we should use it until episode 6. Because if he's still half Anakin, half Vader at this point, when his mask cracks open at the end and he says, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did, you realize now he's Vader. Now he's earned his, quote, Imperial March. Now when you hear it, it's so powerful. Deborah didn't want that theme playing every time you see Darth Vader. She wanted to explore his journey to get there. But there's the problem. In Revenge of the Sith, he already earned the Imperial March. They already were using it integrated with parts of the final duel between him and Obi-Wan. He was transformed into Vader, especially then if you want to really go into it, when he's sliced up to nothing but a torso, practically, shouting at Obi-Wan how he hates him, and he has the Sith yellow eyes. He's Vader. He is Vader at that point.
All right, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. So I just got through this big paragraph here, and because like she was talking about, he had to earn the Imperial March, and like what I was just saying before you got back was, he earned it already in Revenge of the Sith, because on top of it, not only for his actions in that movie, but for the fact that John Williams and everything, they were using the Imperial March theme integrated with their fight. They were using that. So yes, even then he had earned the Imperial March theme. That should have been, something that was being used. And not just even the Imperial March, just tracks from the Star Wars movie.
Is this Hulk girl saying that he needed to earn what? I'm in anger management, and my therapist tells me that I can't call people donkeys.
Well, you just did, so you're in the second. Well, and I just don't understand, why weren't they going to be allowed to use John Williams themes? Lucasfilm owns it.
Was it? Yeah, we weren't sure if we were going to be allowed to. That's just an excuse to want.
Yeah, it just seems like
it just sounds like an excuse. Yeah, it's almost as bad as having Obi-Wan tell Leia that you can't mention our relationship to anybody because it'll put both of us in danger. It's just a way to try to course correct your screw up, because you literally just you literally just made A New Hope comical. like worthless,
Right.
like stupid.
Basically.
You own Star, like you own it, like unless there's some type of like contract to where like apparently it was brought to light to me that George Lucas, before he sold Lucas to Disney, and it was contractually written that Disney cannot retcon, they cannot change the original trilogy. And this is coming from it came from a Disney shill himself, but apparently, and I've not been able to pull this contract up. I've not been able to find it unless it's, you know, in some type of Lucas archive. But that is what was told to me, pending an investigation. But I don't know. Maybe that's something with. But that's stupid. That wouldn't make any sense to say like we can't use John Will. Like he's the guy that wrote the opening, you know, music for it. So if he can create, unless Lucas is like, you can't use any of his old stuff, any of our old stuff. He can create new stuff, but you can't use any of the old stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's just stupid to say
I'm not totally up on either like copyright laws and stuff
I'm
like
not
that.
either.
It just sounds so weird that.
But it's just to say like
they wouldn't be able to use those tracks.
Unless they're saying we didn't know how to use the tracks, which then I could understand because they're, you know, maybe not
well,
smart.
I mean, they just said they weren't sure if they were going to be allowed to use it. So that just sounds really weird to me.
Yeah, it just seems like a cop-out. Like which they're really good at.
Continuing on, indeed, there was a desire not to lean too heavily on the original songs and instead be much more nuanced about adding them adding them in ways that connected to and enhanced the story. As such, Vader's accompanying score reflects the character's super angry state. Did it?
Yeah. Don't think so, but I could be wrong.
And quote, and I did use the rhythm from the Imperial March underneath the sound design. I had a haunting horn and slowed down double bass, the low end of the orchestra playing this really gnarly, angry theme with these war sticks and stuff. Deborah wanted to have really visceral sense when he's walking down the street, kind of killing people. He's like, we've never really seen this side of Vader. He's in his prime. He's super angry. He's just full of rage. And actually, the Vader that we kind of see in A New Hope and onwards is much more measured, and we never see him lose control or randomly kill people in such an evil way. He's more thoughtful and centered. So yeah, that was a very deliberate decision. For the fact that Jedi Fallen Order takes place 5 years prior to this, he was much more Darth Vader than this Darth Vader. And that was much more, it was much better. They relied, you know, using their words here, you know, they did rely on using known tracks from the prequels, and it was used it very effectively.
Yeah.
And they made Vader intimidating, menacing, and all of that. And you know that was that game took place 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. So yeah, he had the time to control his rage.
Yeah.
At that time, and that made sense. But you know, at the same time, when they're trying to talk about the little scene of him killing people in the street, I didn't really get anything out of that.
No,
not from the music and not from the scene in general. I was just kind of like, okay, this is happening. I mean, I knew what they were going for and everything. I knew what was supposed to be, you know, the whole him drawing out Kenobi and all that. But I was just kind of like, all right. It just didn't have that same.
It doesn't do anything.
If you had been using some tracks that came out better from the prequels and used that effectively, yeah, I might have been like, oh, okay, here we go.
Right.
And maybe shot it a little better. Took time with it, you know. But we didn't get that, did we?
We just got really bad music with a really bad show and really
No.
bad acting.
We ran the gambit, that's for sure. Holt also revealed that the maestro himself, John Williams, gave the series his blessing after his screening. John Williams watched the whole show, and he granted permission for his themes to be used in episode 6 and in certain places, and where the Yoda theme would go. And then that set the tent poles for me. Like, okay, we can't use the themes until this point, so we need to be leading to them. You know, I understand getting, some tips and tricks from the master himself and stuff, right? But at the same time, you kind of have to take your own chances and make your own decisions on what to do too. Like, if you want to, if you were more in line of wanting to use the themes and stuff, I mean, why the hell?
Do you think that John Williams just wasn't like available? Because isn't there gonna be a new Indiana Jones? Did I read that somewhere? It's like Indiana Jones 5. I'm being totally serious. Like, I think like I read that somewhere. So I wonder if like it's gonna be Indiana Jones is gonna be like the Fast and Furious. Like, there's gonna be like 90 of them. But
he's gonna be more CG than Godzilla.
Right, but I wonder, like, but again, to that point, like, he wouldn't have had to do any work. Like, they already done. They were already composed. Unless you want to, unless, like, you know, the London Orchestra wasn't available. You know what I mean? Like, unless they had to, like, I don't know. They're already composed, so it doesn't really make sense.
I think they were using all electronics, basically.
Oh, is it?
Not really, I think.
Oh,
so.
They weren't doing the actual orchestra.
I don't know. I can't say for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just taking a guess.
I just wonder if they weren't sure, you know, if they could use his stuff or if he was unavailable or I don't know. It's just weird to your point. Like, we didn't know. Like, you're literally the company that owns the rights to Star Wars. How do you not know?
Yeah.
And even if there was a copyright issue, you have very good lawyers. Like, they're snake in the grass level lawyers. Like, so it is very odd. It just seems like an excuse. We're going to say we didn't know if we were going to be able to use it, so that should basically give us a pass on this really bad music that we did create.
It's certainly one way to try and pass the buck, right?
Like, we created a really bad show, but we brought back Hayden and Christian, so, like, you guys should give us a pass because we were able to get them back. It's like, no.
Jangling.
I'm not going to give you a pass for this dog water music, and I'm not going to give you a pass for this dog water show that you created.
I mean, it's
because you had the template.
Like, it's funny, they want to basically, you know, lean on all these, you know, basically member berries of oh, look, we got Hayden. Oh, look, we're doing a pre-Clone Wars era fight scene between him and Ewan.
Right.
We have Darth Vader. We have, you know, we have young Leia running around.
We've got a Captain Rex.
We have Tamara Morrison as a washed up clone.
Right.
Look at, and they don't think to use the one biggest thing for Star Wars, which is
the music. Yeah.
Yeah, which tells the story just as much as what's going on screen.
100%. Like, you know, it flows together. Like, yes, the music and the movie. I mean, it's just they go together. They're both iconic and like so. Yeah, it's just stupid to say like I
agree.
don't get it.
So the Kenobi composer also discussed working alongside Bill Ross, a longtime associate of Williams, for what she described as, quote, the handover episode. Yeah, for sure. I had Bill Ross as well, who is John Williams' longtime collaborator. Episode 6 was the handover episode. So that was Bill Ross, John Williams. That episode was a collaboration of the three of us. It was very much overseen by everyone there, just kind of making sure that it was hitting the right points. And with something like that, as John and Bill Ross have got over 40 years of Star Wars experience, so they know what Star Wars is and should be. And I would say again, it also comes down to a director knowing where they want things placed. I'd say that was probably what was a big thing for Lucas. He knew what he wanted from the tracks. He knew where he wanted it placed.
Yeah.
And yes, you could have these composers that they have their idea, but I mean, you got to have the director that is also probably sitting right there going, well, let's kind of move it here. This is where I think it might also be serving well. I mean, this just feels like it's an assembly line production.
Yeah.
And not like a real creative endeavor.
Well, it's like who's running the show here? Like
the flying
is
monkeys.
Deborah? Well, it's like is Deborah in charge? Is Kathleen in charge? Favreau? He said he has nothing to do with it, and Filoni's busy in Utah, Salt Lake. So, but yeah, like to your point, like it makes no sense. I mean, that would make more sense if it was an assembly line production. Like that makes sense because it doesn't flow. There's no it breaks continuity on levels that we've really never seen, or well, that can I guess that's an argument that can be argued. That's a statement that can be argued against. But yeah, I mean, it's just so bad. It's so bad. Like and it racks my brain trying to figure it out. But yeah, I don't even think Deborah Chow was on set. I really don't. I wonder
again, it's like want to be the fly on the wall at that place and wonder just what the hell is going on. Like really, what's going on? Not rumors, not whatever, but what is really going on?
Like, if you were a director, like, I don't know, I guess you can't make that argument, but I'm like, how could this thing even go into production? Like, how do people actually think that this is okay to, like, how did people think this was okay to even, like, produce?
I don't
like,
know.
are you, and yeah, but yeah, and we haven't seen, like, I haven't seen all of 0 interviews with Deborah Chow after this thing had been released, but boy howdy, we've got interviews for days with Hayden and Ewan talking it up, because it's probably in their contract, like, hey, we're going to pay you.
And the Moses Ingram for her part.
Oh yeah, we're going to pay you X amount of thousands and thousands of dollars to come back and do this, but you have to literally follow the script that we tell you. Like, you cannot say anything against it, or we're not going to pay you, or whatever it is. I don't know.
Neither do I.
I haven't seen anything from Ingram though after she falsely accused people. Well, not falsely accused, but this whole racism.
It was very skeptical. It was
highly sus, I will say.
Right, as the kids would say.
Yes, I haven't seen anything from her. She's been.
It's been really quiet. It's been, at least on that front.
So
finally, Holt remarked that striking the right balance was a crucial part of the process. And for my job, it was like, I just want to make sure that I'm walking the right line and striking the right balance between the old and the new, and doing what Deborah Chow is asking me to do, what Kathleen is asking me to do. And yeah, striking the right balance was definitely one of the challenges of the job, and I don't think you're ever going to please everyone unless John Williams had come and scored the whole show. But he's not 90, and I don't think that was in the cards. So we tried to do the best we could, be as respectful as possible to the original.
That's a bunch of crap. And like I said, like, maybe I can't say it because it's not been confirmed that John Williams is going to come back and compose Indiana Jones 5. But if he is coming back, and to make that comment, like, I don't know, it doesn't.
Well, he might be saving his energy for that movie.
He's just done. Maybe John Williams is actually, like, he sees, like, what they've done and how they've destroyed Star Wars, and maybe he's like, no, like, you have gaslighted this, you've, like, burned it to the ground, and I am not coming in to even attempt to save to basically save you guys. Like, good on you. Do what you want. Pound sand. I'm gonna go do Indiana Jones 5 because that's, only thing Harrison Ford wants to do. I don't know.
Maybe to do that movie, he had to do this. Who knows?
I think, but to that point, like, Star Wars is beyond saving. Like, and it breaks my heart to say that, but as long as Star Wars is in the hands of Disney, it is unsavable, and it's going to continue to just live in the dumpster, the gutter, as they, I guess, said.
If it was like somehow bought by somebody else,
Apple,
it would effectively need. Oh God, I don't think that would be any better. It would effectively need to go on like a 10-year hiatus.
Oh yeah,
not just movies, but TV shows and comic books. They would need to basically go quiet, and then restructure everything.
Dark Horse would have to come in and get the contract for the comic books.
Well, it's not even having Dark Horse. You just need, having good writers and
for sure.
Try and bring back the ones that aren't completely mentally freaked in the head.
Yeah.
To again pick up and start writing some great stories again. You'd have to start rebuilding, because and not just rebuilding Star Wars itself, but then rebuild the goodwill between it and the fan base, because look at what Lucasfilm has been doing. They've been, like you said, gaslighting and insulting the fans, and they came out ahead of this show. Yeah. They came out ahead of this show and started calling all the fans racist and shit. And we were already like, oh, all right, we know this show's gonna be hot dog water.
Yeah. I wish that
it was the typical tactics of doing that.
I really wish Lucas would come back, but I know he's older. He's probably trying to enjoy, life with his kids and all that. But I really wish that, and we talked about like what I was hoping would happen is that Disney would sell it or they would somehow, like, Lucas would be the only guy that could basically save it, and he had to come back and all this and that. But I'm scared to even think where Star Wars is gonna go. Like, you're not even gonna get Star Wars. Like, Star Wars is dead. Like as long as it's in the hands of Disney, it's dead. Like, you're never gonna, what we had with 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, and 3, we'll never get. We'll never get, because they will never be able to match the brilliance of George Lucas. And this isn't me saying this in some type of idolatry type way, but like he was the creator of it, and nobody will ever be able to touch that. Nobody will ever be able to come close. And until they, I don't know, man. It's just everything is political with them. Everything's social justice, all this inclusion. It's just they're more focused on
the message
than the actual stuff that the content that they're creating. They it's just pisses me off, because it's like you can do so much with the EU. People like EU's not canon. EU's not canon. That the saga's not canon, and all this just this stupid, stupidity. But there's so much they could do with it.
Yeah,
it's right there. It's in your freaking hands.
What was that? What was I saying before we started getting more details on the Kenobi show? They had the blueprint. They had the template. They had the Kenobi book right there in their hands. That would have been perfect for adapting.
They're so focused on their pride that they can't take stuff that had already been established and run with it. That's what you're already doing. These you're deconstructing characters and then recreating them and calling it your own.
They're making nothing but a bunch of derivative characters that they can say, "Oh, look, we created this," but really it's just a copy.
Take the book.
It's a poorly cheated off of homework test or something.
Take the book. Yeah, take the book. Give the writer give credit where credit is due. So take the book, credit the author, credit Lucas, and then adapt it. And then be fine with it. And then maybe, just maybe, you might not get your, attacked and not even. It's not even attacking. It's like it's standing up and calling out.
Well, it was basically like people were pointing out. It all became like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You start screaming that there's trolls attacking you, and then of course, because it's the internet, yes, you're gonna actually have maybe a few people that are legitimate trolls and come in to mess with you.
Oh, for sure. There's
you're
people that need to go.
Yourself as a target.
Yeah, there are definitely people that need to go back under their bridge, right? For sure.
Well,
but there's
it's all about how you yourself will respond to it. Yeah, if you shout it out and and don't laugh at it or mock it or whatever, yeah, you're just gonna get more of that sort of crap. I mean,
if they came out and said like, you know what, guys, like we really like. We hired Ruin Johnson and he really ruined it, and we apologize, and something like that. If you owned up to it, then like I can live with that. But it's the fact that like you're just oblivious to like what you've created.
Yeah.
I'm very scared. I'm very, very much scared to see where Star Wars goes. We should probably just stop calling it Star Wars, because Star Wars literally ended with Episode 3. Well, I mean, yes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. That's where it ended.
Visual part, yeah.
Yeah, that's where it ended, and out of respect, we should just keep it there. But yeah, I'm definitely scared to see where it goes. It's kind of like Open Air. Tim from Open Airlock talks about like this new Trek stuff and where they're going with it. And like I said, I'm not a Star Trek fan, but yeah, it's like because I think we all can. The people on the Star Trek fans will say like Gene Roddenberry is like he created good stuff, right? Yeah. And then this whole new Trek, which I'm not familiar with, that they just kind of screwed the pooch. And it's no different with Star Wars. Lucas, in my opinion, wiped the floor with Roddenberry, but created great content, and then Lucas or Disney took it over, and yeah.
And I'm one of those people that I'm of the mind of when it comes to this, certainly when it comes to Star Trek. It's only the original series. That's it.
Wait, with William Shatner?
Oh yeah, with Shatner.
Yeah, Leonard Nimoy.
That was like, it was practically bros in space. It was great. It was awesome. Kirk took no shit. That was still, and to me, that's the only Star Trek that I'll ever rewatch. Personally, that's me.
Yeah. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I think Kennedy herself said years ago that she didn't want to do any more trilogies. They were done with we were going away from trilogies. She talked out both sides of her mouth. She's like, we're done with trilogies, but we're still. What did she say? I'd have to pull up the article, but she's like, we want to move away from trilogies, but that's not to say we won't do trilogies or something along those lines. It was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's like, I'm gonna eat healthy.
Major double speak.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna eat healthy, but I'm also gonna eat this Big Mac real quick. So
let me just eat this.
Yeah. So.
Oh God.
Well, we want to jump into Mando, or is there another article? Are we still going through this one? Or?
I mean, we're basically finished with this one, because I mean, this is just kind of finishing up. Fluff on that.
Yeah. Final thoughts on this article? Do you have any? Because I have mine.
I mean, the only thing I could say is just that you could have I just don't understand why they couldn't have used the music that we know.
Hell, bring back who's the composer that did oh my goodness, a brain fart. Shadows of the Empire. Was it Joel Neely? Joe Neely?
Joel McNeely?
McNeely. Bring him on, man. I don't know if that's what you were touching on earlier when I had to get off for a moment, but like, freaking bring him on. Like, if you don't want to go John Williams route, or you're not sure that you can use John Williams, like
I was saying that last week.
Okay, that's
finale. I was like, why not bring in someone that is familiar with making Star Wars music, and not only did do some tracks that were from the original trilogy, and then also make new ones that they put together. And, I mean, Jesus, fantastic.
It would, you know, I don't know. It's like they got it's like whoever composed the music off of Sesame Street did this music for this show.
Oof.
I feel like I don't know, man. It's just they're so like I don't know. Until they put me in the ground, there's no like I can't even rewatch it. I can't even rewatch any of these episodes because it's that bad.
Well, I mean, that's been my point to a lot of things is the fact that, you know, when it comes to like between the prequels and the sequels, like I've told people, yeah, I had my problems like with the prequels when they first came out and stuff, but the thing was I was still able to rewatch them. I still put them on and stuff like that. But the sequel trilogy, I don't want anything to do with. I don't even
listen.
Know, like I used to have the riff tracks versions of the sequel trilogy, and they were making fun of the movie. But even then, I'm just kind of like, I don't care. I don't want to watch this at all. None of it. I'm done. You know.
I would much rather watch. Yeah, I would much rather watch. Oh, hell, let's be honest. Jar Jar fighting the battle droid, the battle droid that got attached onto his leg was a better fight than Rey and Kylo and freaking. I mean, that's literally all the sequel is Rey and Kylo. That's it. I mean, so bad. Yeah, like they're yeah. To your point, like you can go back and rewatch them. I cannot, I shan't, on principle, go back and watch any of these episodes. I will not do it.
Neither will I. I won't. This series, like it is, like any of these shows, I just will not rewatch unless it's going to be for something like this that we're doing right now. You know, talking about them, reviewing them, or whatever.
Yeah.
I won't go back and rewatch these. These will be memory hold to me, even, and I'll forget about it at some point.
This show has inspired me to go back and rewatch or reread the book. And I read that book in a week, mind you. It was like a week.
What book?
Kenobi.
Oh.
I read that book in a week. I think I read it in like less than 2 weeks. So I'll go back and reread the book and be perfectly fine. And continue to rip on Kenobi, but. Well, should we get into?
Just before we do,
or
I did
you got another one you want to go? Yeah.
There's not an article necessarily. There's just another thing I wanted to just kind of go into really quick, and it's this total conversion mod.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's a total conversion mod of another game. Another kind of. I guess it's an oldish game. It seems to be rather moddable, which is the old game. The original game is the Star Wars X-Wing Alliance, and they did a total conversion mod, turning it into TIE Fighter, which I loved that game back in the day. Played the shit out of that because that's where you got to be an Imperial,
right?
And I've gotten to play, but listen, I wanted to play this trailer and just kind of go over it really quick. Not many games actually allow you to be the Empire, like legitimately the Empire. And where they aren't portraying them as douchebags.
Right.
So, like you're saying, this is kind of the way the original game looks. Which, I mean, I'm like, yeah, I'd still play it looking.
Dude, some of these graphics are better than Rogue Squadron. Is it Rogue Squadron? Yeah.
Boom. Transforms into the new UI and everything.
And they're remaking it?
Like it is. It's a total conversion, remaking it. Yeah, remaking TIE Fighter. And, I mean, look at this. The visuals are impressive as hell.
Oh,
Are you hearing it?
This. No, the music's not
Oh,
playing.
son of a
but
gun!
I didn't know if it was
I wish
able
you
to or
told
not.
me.
Well, I didn't know if it was able to. I was just enjoying watching it.
God dang it! Oh, shut up! You well, now the music really kicked in. Anyways.
Oh, there you go.
Boom! I just love that transition, showing the old game and then the new total conversion mod. It's like, wow.
When is this? When are they going to be done with it? Or are they done with it now?
It's already released, and I'll go into that with this after this trailer for sure. And it's still being worked on, which is great. You got all the battle scenarios, training.
This is legit.
Yeah, so you kind of had to get an extra mod on top of things to get it to look like, to get it going.
Oh, I see.
But once you know what's going on, it's very easy to install. Serve the Emperor. Hold the Empire! Nothing like vaping some rebel scum.
When did this game come out? I know, obviously it's older, but
98 originally.
Oh wow!
Certainly the late 90s, mid to late 90s. I want to say. So yeah, that was the TIE Fighter Total Conversion mod, and if you're watching, you can find it through that name on YouTube. The guy has been posting updates there. Find a channel.
Take
Angel.
my money.
I'm freaking subscribed already. I'm gonna be following the shit out of this for sure.
He just needs to take my money because I'm ready for this.
Hang on. So yeah, and he's been, like I said, he's been 10 days ago even posted the last update. He had a version 1.3 patch update news, which he's just kind of going over what's going to be happening, when it's going to be out, and stuff like that for the.
So this guy's the one that's he's the guy that's spearheading it.
He's the one, yeah, the one working on this. I don't know if he's got a team or not, but certainly putting in the elbow grease to make this possible. And God, it's certainly a trip to. And I downloaded it, I installed it. I was trying to play it for a little bit. The only problem is that I would say you want to have a flight stick.
Yeah.
To play this. I tried using,
really?
Like I could kind of use the controller, but
not great.
It just was not a smooth transition. And I was just fumbling with trying to get the keyboard actions to work, so I waited and I grabbed a joystick to play this game for $20.
Yeah.
So when I do get that, for sure, I'm gonna be playing that a little more and get.
I think this is the same. I think this is the same game that when we first started the show, I told you a little bit about my uncle, how he got me into Star Wars, but I think I played this game before years ago on a Macintosh, like an old beat up white.
Yeah, old Mac PC.
Yes, because he had a joystick control, like one of those like
the flight sticks.
Yes, flight sticks, and so I think I'll have to text him and ask him, but I'm pretty sure I've played this I'm not going to show my age or anything, but yeah.
Well, and this is the thing too, is that you can go on to, for example, GOG.com. They have all the Star Wars games, including the old ones.
Right.
And you can get the X-Wing Alliance. That's the game that's being used. They even have X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. They have the special edition of X-Wing if you want to play the original. But you will need this game if you want to install the mods and be able to play that total conversion. But like it is, I mean,
yeah,
it's $10. Fortunately, it looks like the sales ended that they had going for the summer sales. But you could always keep an eye on it if you want it to go a little bit cheaper. But I mean,
so
even then, just $10 for a full game, and then
not bad.
Oh yeah, and then they have all the links in the description on getting this sucker installed. Just follow all that, and you're good to go.
I was going to say, for those of us, well, myself included, but those that might be listening, is it a pretty hard game? Is the mod hard to install or not really?
No, it's just
okay.
like I just needed to know the order that I was trying to install everything, and I didn't realize that. Oh, I needed this other mod, the X-Wing Alliance upgrade mod, to then get the ball rolling even further.
Nice.
See if I can pull that.
Because you know me, I know everything there is to know about computers.
Of course. Pull this up really quick too. So yeah, it's xwaupgrade.com. You'll be taken to the X-Wing Alliance upgrade. So this is what helps, certainly, like you see, update the models and textures and stuff like that for the game.
Nice.
And then follow everything else through, and I'll shoot links in the description for this too, for anybody that is interested in the mod. It's definitely it's worth it, and I'm gonna be really looking forward to getting the flight stick to try out the game even more.
But you guys beat Republic Commando really quick, so you start playing this one.
I know. I gotta start playing that too. But yeah, I just wanted to give that a real
I'm glad you did, because I didn't know anything about this.
I'm always looking for mods. I'm always looking for stuff like this for old games to see if there's total conversions or whatever, because I'm always like, I wouldn't mind a new textures or something like that just to kind of help update things a little bit, but I'll still play games as they were.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, totally. I was just like, I gotta give this. I wanted to talk about this at some point. I wanted to get a little more game time in, but I missed the first opportunity that I had to get the flight stick at $20. It went back up in price.
Where did you get the flight stick from?
Amazon.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
This is, I'll drop it in a private chat.
Yes,
because it was like $39.99 and then or 30 something bucks, but it dropped back down 50% again. I'm like, sweet, grabbing it.
And now it's not on sale anymore.
It's on sale again. That's why I grabbed it.
Oh, nice. Yes, I'm gonna have to go.
It's $19.99 again. The Sentinel. I really need to just bite the bullet and get a gaming PC at this point. All the Star Wars games are on PC, and you'll be future-proofed, pretty much. And I mean, you don't even need like a super rig, especially if you're just looking to play older games. If you're just looking to stick to the old Star Wars games and stuff like that, you're solid. And even then, and I don't like Reddit much, but if you go to the board, our PC Master Race, they have plenty of budget builds and stuff that you can look at and put together, and you'll be set to go.
I mean, I finally did it, and you could tell them how long we had talked about me getting a computer, but I finally, did it, and I don't regret it at all.
So you know what? There's a little positivity for the Star Wars
thing. Thank goodness, because it's been so negative. It's been so negative, so terrible. I mean,
and also, and this is a site that I use a lot for checking out for mods. It's MODDB.com. This is where you can also find the TIE Fighter total conversion, which again, I'll be putting it in the description when I get the chance. And you can follow the links, follow all the info being updated to here, not just the YouTube channel, but here as well. And this is where you can also certainly find the tutorials on how to install it. And certainly, anybody that follows me on Twitter and stuff, if you got questions, I'll try and help. But otherwise, it's fairly straightforward.
they have any updated mods for Dark Forces?
Oh God, there's been like so many like teaser projects and stuff like that, but nothing that's seen real completion, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'll have to start looking again. It's been a while since I've looked. I've wanted one for Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah, it's like, don't tease us, just do it.
It's kind of like what people say too. It's like especially when people are like trying to do remake mods of old games, like either Chrono Trigger or a Nintendo game like Metroid. It's always called, dudes, keep your mouth shut, develop the game, get it done, get it ready, and then put it out, because you know you're gonna get the NDA strikes or whatever. You're gonna get strike down fast, especially when it's Nintendo or Square. They strike that stuff fast, which is just counterproductive.
It's like they got people actively like watching people's Twitter.
Practically, right? So
you mentioned
it's always been that. But I mean, the nice thing is that with these games, for sure, it's been just everybody's playground. There hasn't been this craziness for strikes and cease and desist. That's what I was actually trying to remember, was the cease and desist and stuff. So definitely, it's just an open playground for people to do these kind of mods and stuff. So
that's exciting. I'll be definitely buying my flight stick and looking into how to download this mod.
Absolutely. And I definitely, like I said, like it is, the nice thing is on GOG.com, the game is no DRM or anything like that. You get to purchase the game. It's yours. You download it. You can download it onto your computer fully. I've backed up practically a lot of my library from that site because of it. So that's the great thing about them. They certainly keep away from that sort of shit.
Yeah.
So anytime, definitely a place I'd recommend. And they pretty much have kind of made the old games playable on new systems. That's the added bonus to it all too, is that they've made these games playable on new systems. You can play them. You just might need the flight sticks or whatever it might be to get into it. So that's for sure. A place I always recommend.
That's legit.
Oh yeah, totally. So yeah,
I know what I'm going to be doing after the show. Going to this website.
Now I think I'll be switching back to Kyle. I'm feeling good again.
There you go.
Kyle's happy face.
Yeah, I'm just analogous all the time. Just my hate. Just hate all the time.
All right. So do we want to get into Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Pull this up. Pull my notes up here. It's kind of weird going back to the old format since we're doing those I did
like watch party sort of.
I know. I was trying to figure out remember how to do it. Let's see. Yeah, this episode. Are you a fan of Bill Burr?
I mean, there's been some of his comedy stuff that I've seen before that I've enjoyed. I'm not a big. I'm not
I mean, clearly we don't
I
like him as a stormtrooper. But,
I wouldn't call myself a fan, but I don't
yeah, dislike
hate the
him.
guy or anything.
Yeah.
I just think he did kind of, puss out when it came to the whole Carano thing.
Oh, 100%. Just showed his belly along with everybody else.
Absolutely.
Well, so was difficult, but it wasn't as it was kind of difficult getting through, but it's definitely easier to get through than some. I didn't have an exuberant amount of notes, but I did take probably about a page worth of notes.
I still got about my usual for this stuff.
Yeah.
Chapter 15, The Believer. So like I even said with my notes, I had to make sure and actually watch the recap because
I know.
So
usually I just skip through the recap sometimes.
Yeah, so watch the recaps for things, and then which got us, of course, it gets you introduced to Mayfeld again. Like, oh, that's right. I forgot. He was part of the main reason for them being at this place or whatever. I'd kind of forgotten that. I just remember the bullshit scene that comes later.
Yeah.
So I said I just had to say, how sad they've turned the AT-ATs into junkers.
Yeah.
And I said, Mayfield's become a scrapper. Why isn't Mayfield just happy to be going along with Dune? Because she comes up and offers, or not offers, but says, "You're coming with me. We're getting you out of here, or whatever. Got a job for you." He's just like whining and complaining. Or just like, go, what? What's going on? What's going on? Like, dude, shut the freak up and just accept the fact that you're getting let out, basically. And then I had to laugh. See how second fiddle Boba really is, as he's just as acting as the bodyguard. I know he said he owes Mando, but it just seems like a weird setup to me. Then Mayfeld's trying to get to the bottom of what Mando wants from, as he and I was making fun of him. What he wants, gets to the bottom from what Mando wants as he wets his jumper. But Cara Dune makes it quite clear how she had to break a lot of rules to get him for this mission. Because he's wanted for his Imperial dealings and the possibility he knows clearance codes and protocols and stuff like that. But it's like if he left the Imperials, he probably would be out either. The only things he'd be allowed to touch would basically wouldn't even be getting in through the front door.
If he, that's the thing I wondered, and if he in fact
I guess it depends on how he left. So.
Yeah, if he did leave, or if he faked his death or whatever. Yeah, faked his death, or I mean that wouldn't make much sense. So.
Yeah, wanted for his Imperial dealings, but then once Mayfeld hears it's Moff Gideon, he again wets his pants as he says he's out. But even he's a bit of a softie after hearing how the Womp Rat was taken and relents a bit. So it takes the whole the kid's been kidnapped and I need your help, and he goes, "Oh, fine." It's again kind of like this quick jump of going from no way in hell to all right, fine, I'll help you. It's kind of like
the fact that
the guy in the Obi-Wan show.
The fact that they're oh my goodness, my brain is just water right now. Referring to him as the kid, like his kid, like are you like I don't. Where's my spray bottle? I just put recap scene. I was like, Dune rescuing Mayfield. Oh look, it's Slave One and Dad bought Fett with Mando. Touching reunion. Said Mayfield decides to help Mando get the Womp Rat back. And then Mayfield's just cringe joke.
He just keeps going and going, and I'm kind of like,
it's like, just stop, just shut up. Yeah, I was like, Mayfield and Dune going at it. What did I decide to? I don't know what I think that may have been a typo, but I'll skip that one. Then I just put I'll just end at that. I don't know what I wrote, so I'll just put Mayfield and Dune going at it. I put doing the dude getter, getting back at it, and then I was like, gotta love Burr's humor.
Yeah, I had Mayfeld knows of a secret Imperial mining facility on some planet called Morak. And I looked it up just to be sure. It's a Disney planet.
I'd never heard of it.
Neither had I. But I just had to at least check and see. He says that there is where he can get to one of the terminals to get the information they want, which is kind of funny considering there's supposed to be a secret mining facility, but they're still plugged in enough to be able to get that kind of Imperial detail information on where the Gideon's ship is at and everything.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It seems a little weird. Mayfeld tries to be snarky, goes over about as well as a wet fart. But they give us the audience the wink and nudge as to what's probably going to happen. A lot of explosions because of the Rhydonium.
The hell's right? Yeah, and I never heard of Rhydonium.
Another Disney thing. Because it's so volatile and explosive. And I said, yeah. Oh, God dang it! Actually, I hit a key and I jumped all the way back up to the top of my notepad. I said, yeah, here we go. I understand that this is some quote secret mining facility and all, but you're telling me the Imperials, as obvious as they are with their gear and all, that they have zero security to this planet for someone to just fly in and all. Come on. This is again like the not having Imperial Star Destroyers in the sky, keeping Kenobi and those whatever you want to call them, refugees or whatever, escaping Jabin. There were none in the sky. There's none. They just were able to get out scot-free. Like what?
Yeah.
But you'd think there'd be like some kind of security?
Well, Sheev hadn't taken out that galactic loan out yet.
I guess not. I said, and then so everyone in our little ragtag group has the potential to be ratted out due to genetic signatures or just recognize a face, Boba, due to any New Republic registry. But wouldn't the Imperial Security Bureau be using Imperial database as well, which Mando is part of, seeing as Gideon named him and all? So, fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm just because they're going over like why they couldn't take these other people on this mission with Mayfeld, but yet Mando's okay because he's apparently not part of any registry, even though
Gideon named him.
Gideon named him. He knew him, so he would theoretically be in the Imperial database. Certainly, if Gideon's the coordinates to his ship is in there, I would imagine so is all this information he had on these people. So certainly Mando would be one of them.
You would think.
Maybe I'm just stupid. Please, somebody explain that. How it works.
I feel stupid after watching all these shows.
So then Mando agrees to be the one to go though, since he's sees them wearing a helmeted gear, so he won't have to quote show his face. More banter from Mayfeld. Then he just won't shut up. He also wastes no time at taking his own helmet off, as Mando is staying quiet and keeping his helmet on. That's always the funny. It's like nobody can keep their helmet on for more than fucking 5 minutes.
If that.
Except for Mando, apparently. He had managed, at least at one point, to keep his dang helmet on. And of course, they noticed the destroyed vehicles due to the Rhydonium volatility. Mayfeld pulling the whole no difference in New Republic Galactic Empire when it comes to common people, and they're all invaders to them. And tries to get into it with Mando about his rules of the helmet. Which I think we kind of talked about too in the for the first season when he talks about not taking off his helmet, and even though like at one point he is also in clear sight of people.
Yeah, when he was eating his he was like on the patio or whatever.
So, oh yeah, and then this getting into the whole pirates attacking.
That's so stupid. I'm so stupid.
Well, now
look, pirates.
Yeah, but we have Yarr, the pirates. They're coming to attack this ship. But I was like, but what was ridiculous? Like, seriously, a gun jam?
Yeah.
For a laser pistol. I don't see.
Maybe he had a stovetop jam.
And then I'm like, and then he throws it. What the hell? I don't know if you've ever watched Venture Brothers.
Mm-mm.
I was trying to find it. I wanted to get the clip, but it's just funny because they're shooting. It's kind of like the Venture Brothers kind of started out as kind of a Johnny Quest spoof.
Yeah.
But, there's these guys that are shooting at them, and one guy runs out of ammo, and he just throws his gun, and the guy right next to him goes, "Why'd you throw the gun? You know we have more ammo, right?" He's like, "Yeah, but it just looks so cool." It's like, but seriously, why'd you throw the gun? There's no point. But let the comedy action scene commence. I mean, they don't have serious. It's like they don't do serious action.
No.
It's all kind of like
terrible.
Set piece action of like either comedic or just mostly just kind of comes off as generally being comedic. It's not trying to be serious.
It's Marvel.
Jesus, look at even in Return of the Jedi. I mean, they played up a death scene for one of the stupid little Ewoks. Made it good and serious.
Right.
Come on. But it's just like these are all really. They even made these pirates just so dispensable. And then so after some sloppy choreography, Mando kills two birds with one stone. With the thermal detonator, he throws the last one that they planted on that truck, grabs and he blows up the two carriers for those guys. And I said, "Oh, so the Imperials do know how to use TIE fighters as they're dispatched to deal with the remaining pirates that were attacking the vehicle. Also, some stormtroopers I think they were swamp troopers. Excuse me. Come out and deal with the remaining pirates trying to attack the base. And this is a rare occasion we get stormtroopers actually, killing people."
Right. Well, those stormtroopers ones in Rogue One, weren't they like? Are they sand trooper or they're not sand? What are they? Beach troopers?
Beach troopers, swamp troopers. I don't know, something like that. They were. Oh. Well, this is a rarity. I thought we weren't supposed to be getting this problem anymore of J Hitman dropping out at the hour 30 mark. Well, we're at hour 44, so we're doing a little better than usual. But unfortunately, we'll have to wait a moment for him to come back in. There he is.
Hit the wrong button.
You hit the... I
hit the wrong button. I don't know what happened.
I
don't know. And then, I hit the wrong button. And then I have a hyper, I have the Razer Basculus, my gaming mouse. So, I'm trying. Oh, I was like, oh crap! Trying to get back in, and I couldn't find my freaking cursor on the screen.
I was like, wait a minute. I thought this wasn't supposed to be happening. We're a little over the hour.
No, I'm on my computer, but it's like,
that's
listen.
That's what I was confused about.
Anybody out there that wants to either really improve their KDR or destroy their KDR, get this gaming mouse because you won't be able to find the cursor. That's how sensitive it is.
Well, that's up to you and what you do for the settings.
Yeah, well, I'm still trying to figure it out.
But yeah, I don't know what those troopers were
I think they're the ones from Rogue One, but I
believe so.
I don't know.
So yeah, as they get once they get inside the building, they get practically a hero's welcome for making it there.
Yeah.
Everyone's cheering. Did you have anything?
Yeah. So I did. Like I said, these notes are really short because I was really trying to just make it through this episode. But I was like, gotta love Burr's humor. Burr trying to make an awkward conversation, or Burr trying to make the conversation awkward, or I guess not awkward. Mando not having it. Phase 1. I was like, Phase 1. Is this Marvel inspired? I was like,
everything practically is.
Yeah, lovely drive through the village. Burr does what he does best. Poke the bear. Pirates. Where's Captain Jack? And I put an homage to Saving Private Ryan. So you said, what was the movie called that you were referencing when he throws the gun?
Oh, I was referencing the show, The Venture Brothers.
Okay, I've never seen it, but I was doing the Saving Private Ryan where I forget the guy, one of the captains or whatever. He's in the gunfight. He loses, he runs out of ammo and he gets hit. And he's like, "Son of a!" And then he's like, he throws the gun at him, and that's what I just I thought of. And then I was like, the Empire is really cutting down on the cost of efficient armor. Sheev would have kept the budget in balance. And then I was like, the longest fuse on this thermal detonator ever.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean,
I'm
in Return of the Jedi, Leia was holding that thermal for a good bit.
She also disengaged it, but yeah, I mean, a valid point. I just felt like this was if you're gonna blow something up though, like,
felt long.
Yeah, Leia probably wasn't intentionally planning on blowing something up. I think these guys obviously were, so they probably should have had a shorter fuse. But anyways, I digress. I was like, oh, look, more pirates, and the Empire to the rescue, as they always have been, for those of you who are rebel scum. And then I was like, where did the rest of these... I think I missed the TIE fighters. So the TIE fighters come in and blows everything to smithereens, but I was like, where did the rest of these pirates come from? They were just blasted. No, I said the rest of the pirates.
Oh, yeah, they're,
They had the 3 or 4 skiffs that blew up.
It seemed like they just kept having more reinforcements.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, that's right, the TIE fighters took out the big group, and then there was another big group at the start of the bridge.
Right.
So, yeah, apparently there's a ton of them. Go figure.
Yeah, and then I put when did Stormtroopers start saluting? Did I miss something in canon? Did they salute?
Well, I mean, that's just kind of basic military.
Well, I'm just saying this was more of a United States salute, like a military salute. I missed it.
I don't know. I don't think it was until Force Awakens that they had a special salute.
I just remember when Vader came aboard the Tantum 5, or the Tantum, was it Tantum 5? Like, the Stormtroopers, they
stood at attention.
They just, they stood at attention. There was no, salute, whatever. I caught that. I thought it was silly.
I'm pretty sure the Imperial officers and stuff saluted, so.
I could be wrong, but I was like, maybe I missed it, but, I was like, and then I put, these 2 guys in the front of the transport look like Ally soldiers. From World War One, World War Two. I don't know my history. I think World War One, two, both. Whatever, doesn't matter. I was like, it's in the mess. Oh, look at this mess, and the helmet off.
Well, certainly for Burr at the moment.
Right. I put are these Death Star troopers? The ones the helmet, the guys with the helmet that actually, I'm forgetting the name, but they actually did the controls for the Death Star. I'll stop there and let you go, because the rest of it, I think I may have jumped ahead of you a little bit.
Oh, no worries. Okay. Okay, yeah, Mayfeld is again wetting his pants over the possibility that some Imperial officer he used to serve under may or may not recognize him. Instead of just going straight to the device, acting casual, he spurgs out, leaving and crying to Mando about it. So the terminal has to do a face scan in order to. This is a stupid freaking moment. So the terminal has to do a face scan in order to let someone in. So just anyone? I'd imagine they'd have to be registered Imperial, right?
So
They just
stupid.
wouldn't let security be so relaxed that they would let any old jackass use it, right? So Mando takes the data stick and goes for it. Naturally, it won't scan the helmet, but his face works. What the hell, Empire?
Oh, it's just so bad.
Like I said, this is supposed so he goes to this terminal to scan this information. It scans his face, and it's supposedly scanning their DNA practically. For calling that's what it was, right? How? What?
Yeah. Makes zero sense.
I mean, I know they may not have his face, but I mean, But just to let anybody, that other stuff aside, to just let any face work seems like a glaring hole in security to me.
He's not even an Imperial. That's the thing. He's
not a properly registered Imperial. He's got no.
I saw that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, how is this a thing? It's just some random Joe Schmo off the street. Like, can put in a security cylinder and just so stupid. Do you see why it's so hard for me to get through this episode?
Well, certainly that part is just like you. I mean, they say it's a secret mining facility. So they're trying to keep things under wraps on top of it. You would think security would be a lot higher. This is like that stupid scene of Obi-Wan where all she had to do, what was her name, Tala? All she had to do was apparently be a little assertive with the guy and gets let in. Not like I said when we were reviewing that episode, not going, actually, who's the commanding officer? I need to talk to him to clarify make sure and get clearance for you to verify your story here. Yeah. This is the same. It's just plot convenience.
That's all it is.
All the setup too, and I talk about wanting villains again, but it's just like I don't know, man. It was just set up to basically have this guy be very much the mustache twirling evil Imperial that waste everybody at a moment's notice and not really justified in what he was doing.
Right.
Yeah. Damn. Anyway, the commanding officer Valen Hess decides to start questioning the rando Mando and asking for his TK designation. Funny, Hess doesn't sound Imperial, especially for a guy that was apparently part of the Empire during its heyday. The Imperials all kind of had that, British accent. It didn't sound Southern.
Yeah.
Which I'm
so bad.
It's like, of course they made him a Southerner. Because of course. Like, you don't already kick that part of the country enough.
Yeah.
Then, Mayfeld now starts dropping the name of the disastrous mission that Hess was in command of. we finally get some cartoony evil, and Mayfeld starts blasting, and Mando has to join in as they make their escape. They had their whole little dueling moment of going over that whole botched operation or whatever. I hate to say it, he did have a point. People want they want a bit of
I mean,
rule.
yeah. Well, why do you all hate the Empire for, rebel scum?
Then yeah, they're making their escape. Cara Dune and Fennec now get to finally start doing something as they start sniping the Imperials. Boba caught napping probably because he was in the ship and they said he could start making his way there.
It's probably in the back to tank in his ship.
Both Mayfeld and Mando make it into Boba's ship for the escape after a little bit of more shooty shoot. Mayfeld does a little snipey snipe action and blows up the facility like we knew we would be getting. I said, wow, look at that. A couple of TIE fighters giving chase after Slave 1. That's quickly dispatched by the detonation bomb from Attack of the Clones Jango used. Okay.
The seismic,
yeah, the seismic charge thing or whatever. Because we know we have to just wrap up the episode.
Right.
We can't really have like a dogfight or anything like that. Something cool to go on. All right.
Nostalgia.
Jango. All a bit of a cathartic moment for Mayfeld and blowing up the facility. Cara Dune actually allowing Mayfeld to go the hell out of there, playing that he died in the explosion, and without a thank you. Yeesh. He doesn't even thank them. He just walks away. No thanks for letting me go. Back to Gideon's ship. Mando sends an open declaration of attack to Gideon, and we are prepared for the finale.
That's pretty much in line with what I had. I just a couple notes here. I said Mayfield found his bollocks and his sharpshooter skills. I was like, now come on, the poor trooper just wanted his Carillion ale. You didn't see, he's like, you didn't see his face, but the whole garrison did. I was like, who's spotting who and who's giving the orders? Referencing Fennec telling Boba whatever I forget what she told him, but yeah. These guns literally look like I said these literally look like Vietnam anti-aircraft guns.
Oh yeah. That's basically what they were.
Yeah. I was like, oh, Slave 1 to the rescue. Nostalgia bait. Mayfield is free. Moff Gideon gets Mando's message. So that's all I have. It was, like I said, very, very difficult. I was trying to get through it last night. So, yeah.
I don't blame
so
you.
many issues.
I didn't watch it till this morning.
It's so many. Like there's so many. There's so many things that I don't get. Like I don't understand the pirates. Yeah, but the pirates scene is stupid. The TIE fighter scene, like, and then the helmet, and then like him saying, "I didn't see your face." It's like, guy, you did see his face, and so did the whole garrison. That like.
Well, and even in those 2 episodes in Book of Boba Fett, Mando copped up to it that, yeah, I took my helmet off in front of people.
Yeah. So then, like, the southern...
well, then he does it again in the finale.
Yeah, and then the southern Imperial Imperial officer from Texas. Irritating. Like, to your point, like, it's always been that British-style accent. British accent.
Like it was described. It's the Coruscanti accent.
Yeah, not this Mississippi,
not
Texas.
The deep south.
Yeah. So.
Sort of southern accent.
I don't know. How do you even rate it? How would you rate it? I don't even know how to rate it. 1.2.
I don't even know how to rate anything anymore.
I don't. Kenobi has fried my brain with ratings. Maybe we just do away with the ratings from now on. Because I don't even know how to rate freaking
Neither do I.
Rebels, and I don't know how to rate freaking Bad Batch 2, and Rema's gonna be Moses Ingram's gonna be in The Acolyte, calling it right now. Ugh.
Oh God.
Do you even like I said 1.2 final answer 1.2.
I'm just gonna. I'll just go with yours, because I just have nothing. I mean, it's just such a big glaring thing with the whole terminal bullshit. It's like, really.
Like, did this episode? Let me ask you this: this episode, did it do anything to advance the story?
Other than that, it just set up for them finding where Gideon was. That was basically it.
I really want to know how the hell that he got into
even then,
this.
it seems tactically stupid to send such an open declaration of basically war. It's like, why not have it? If they don't know that you have that information, use that to your advantage. I mean, you're supposed to be like a bounty hunter, mercenary type. You should have some freaking common sense in that brain, right? You've been trained by Death Watch and all that, right?
Ugh, don't utter that name in front of me. It's just so, oh God, it's so bad. And then, like, how did he get in? How did it not trigger an alarm? Like, last time I checked, that was an Imperial terminal, and I would assume that only Imperial employees, for lack of a better term,
unless you knew somehow some like hack around or something like that, but that wasn't even that. It wasn't like
maybe he's Moff Gideon's child actually, and he's in the system. I don't know. I'm telling you, maybe he is.
Oh,
Season 3's around the corner. Mando Din Djarin is.
That's gonna be the big reveal at the end of the season.
Moff Gideon's son.
Oh no.
He hated his son, so he sent battle droids to kill him.
And even though
then,
even though he was supposedly seen getting killed by battle droids, Gideon also went to that chop shop guy on Tatooine and got
You know, these are the thoughts that they keep me up at night. Like, what if he's like somehow related? I don't know, man. They're not related, but maybe they are. You know, I don't know. How do you explain it? Just a fluke in the system, like a glitch, like they need to restart their computer. What explanation?
God in heaven, I don't know. I really don't know.
It would make more sense if he left his helmet on to get access, but to take it like he's, unless he is somehow, I don't even know. Unless he was an Imperial. And it doesn't make any sense, though. That makes no sense. The only, logical explanation is that Moff Gideon is his dad, because he named him.
I know my boy.
That's my boy, and I hate him, and I want to kill him. But I still kind of like him, so I don't know what I want to do. I'll just put him in the system and see if he comes back home. I don't know. It makes no sense. I have no explanation for it other than it's just like somebody didn't check somebody else's work. It's an assembly line production. That's what it is. Somebody wrote part of this story, and then they handed it off to somebody else. And the guy that they handed it to didn't write. He didn't read the story that was, the section prior to it. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm trying to rack my brain trying to figure this out. It's an assembly line production. That's what it is.
So it's basically like what they did with Kenobi. They took
how do you miss that?
It was supposed to be a trilogy, and
but you gotta be
a little bit.
You gotta be dumber than a box of rocks to even let this thing go into there's no explanation. Why? And then for you to let it happen with no explanation, you're just gonna leave it on us to try to figure out your stupidity. How are you gonna let a Mandalorian with
no parents that are alive. Like how? Like he's a Mandalorian in an Imperial secret base that is able to bypass security, showing his face when he's not an Imperial. Like what? How does this even work? Was there a guy? There's a guy behind him. That's how he did it.
The Invisible Man.
Maybe this technology is. I tell you, this is what it is. That system, that security terminal, was produced by Apple, because sometimes the facial recognition to unlock your iPhone, sometimes it doesn't. Started working with masks. So maybe there was I don't know. Maybe Steve Jobs, that was like a bad thing that he. I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's probably the worst. That's like top 3 worst moments in this episode. Like that was one of them. That's just the dumbest thing that makes no sense.
They didn't even for this mission. They didn't even go all Mission Impossible. And, take a face scan of the guy and make a face mask and put it on Mando or something like that to hide his identity. Then in case he had to be the one to do all this, they didn't even do anything like that. It was just
they had to give Mayfield a reason to shoot. Yeah.
They were so relying on Mayfield, and they had to set it up so much just so they could have the incredibly corrupt and defunct freaking whatever Imperial guy, so they could do that whole little bit.
Yeah. Now I want to get. Well, no, wait. We're men of integrity. We can't take back the score. It's in the books, 1.2. I was gonna take it back and drop it down, but I can't do it.
Back to Bane.
Yeah, but back to Bane, man. I gotta find. Oh no, Malgus was pretty. He was pretty angry. I don't know if I'm gonna find somebody else as angry as him.
It's just such a glaring hole.
But it gets better. It gets better, and by better I mean it gets worse, because next week we're looking at the finale, which, if I'm not mistaken, I don't even remember this episode. What is it? Let's see here. The Rescue. I don't even remember this episode.
I remember a few parts to it, and they're really stupid.
And I don't even want to remember it. So I'll probably watch it tonight, do my notes, and not have to watch it next week.
Get ahead of the curve.
Get ahead of the curve, because my brain is already mush right now, so I don't think it can get any worse. And this is 47 minutes. Oh, we're not doing a watch party. We are not doing a watch party for this.
I didn't plan on it.
Good, because I was going to respectfully tell you that I will not stand for a watch party for this 47-minute atrocity. Ugh.
I end up having a lot of fun.
You can't wait. 47 minutes of just pure joy. Ugh. Well, do you have anything going on? Are you doing any gaming?
I need to. I was battling with myself for the longest time on what I wanted to do with the Jedi Outcast. I'm still editing that down.
Yeah.
So once I get that posted, then I'll probably start playing the
Republic.
The Republic Commando. I'll start playing that. And of course, like it is for anybody interested, just keep an eye out. I'll be either, I don't know, I'm really debating if I want to just start doing the streaming here on YouTube, or just keep doing it on my Twitch channel, which I will.
I mean, I like the Twitch. I think, I personally like Twitch, so I think I enjoy.
Yeah. I've been checking out different avenues of things, so the Fractured Filter for Twitch channel. And keep an eye out here. Keep an eye out on those, where I'll be posting about it on social media. So once I do start playing it, you'll know.
Nice.
How about You can be.
Same. I'm still working through. So like I said, I restarted Jedi Outcast, but now I really want to download the TIE Fighter as the TIE Fighter game that you're talking about. But I planned on doing Outcast and then jumping. I wanted to actually try to do Dark Forces. I don't know how to do it yet on the computer. Like I have my gaming laptop. I just got to figure out how to like.
G.com has it.
Yeah, so I'm kind of debating that route, like finishing up out because I'm on Arshada right now, so reworking through it, and then thought about either doing Dark Forces. If not, then I'll probably just do, I don't know, maybe do Republic Commando. I had this urge to do KOTOR, but that's a very long game. It's a very long game.
Yeah, that's a bit of a longer.
There's like 30. I heard there's like 48 different ways that you can beat it, and I've only beat it like twice, so I'm not really wanting to spend another 46 attempts to beat it. But I thought it'd be fun. But yeah, I'll probably finish it at Outcast and then jump to Republic Commando, just because I have an itch. Just because I'm reading the book and I have an itch to play it.
Right.
So that's what you should do. You should read the book while you play it.
I need to.
The sad thing is there is no audiobook for it, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
There's not even a bridge, no. They just have... Yeah, sucks.
Well, hell's bailed.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe sometime soon Davios will show up. He'll probably get back on the show when Bad Batch releases.
Oh, good lord.
And that'll be fun.
I'm after we're done with Mandalorian, that's been on the back of my brain. Okay. So
yeah, what are we gonna do? Because we literally have one more episode. We gotta figure out what our next what we're gonna do. If you say Rebels, I'm gonna slap you through this computer.
Unfortunately, I was.
Were you thinking Rebels?
No, Bad Batch.
Were you really? That's 8. I think it's. Is it 8? 8? I don't know how many episodes it is. It's a good question. Let's see.
I think that was supposed to be one of the more upcoming shows, wasn't it? For the new season.
Yeah. Season 2's. I think it's in end of August. Is when season.
I'm trying to remember.
I can't find. I'm trying to find it here.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the whole list of all the.
I wonder if they took it off.
I remember us looking at the whole image with all the different shows that were supposed to be coming out.
Yeah, because we talked about it on one of the shows. Oh, here we go.
Bad Batch Season 2, September 28th.
Oh, okay. So there's 16 episodes for Bad Batch. Season 1. I really.
What? I can't say I'm looking too forward to it.
16 is a lot, man. I barely got through. How many episodes? And there's 15 for Rebels?
Yeah, I was torn between if that or Visions.
No, can't do Visions. Do you want to do Visions? Nah, I do.
I almost look at it like that might be a little bit more, just because it's kind of an experimental show series.
We can do it.
Because it's all anime and it's all disconnected from everything Star Wars, other than it being Star Wars themed.
Yeah, so it'd be a good palate cleanse and. Well,
it might not drive us up those walls as much as everything else has. So we'll have to figure that one out.
Yeah, Well, we still have one episode left to figure it out. So.
Yes, we do.
All right.
All right. So
Well, with that being said, yeah, that's all I got.
Now I gotta say again, as always, thank you to the Sentinel for
Oh,
joining in on the
it's always
chat.
always a pleasure,
Always-
man. Always a pleasure.
Always great having you in here. Hope for anybody that did jump in that they feels weird to actually say that, but hit the like button.
Hit the like button. Yeah.
Please do. Otherwise,
You got anything
I
to
will-
close this out?
I need to get something one of these days.
We'll get something.
But otherwise, good night, everybody.
Yeah. Have a good night.